If I had to tell you what the best part of this was, there's too many things that it'd be a tie at the top for about 8 things. But
you guys, I don't know the last time that I've ever seen Carl Albert start the season 1-5. This just isn't Carl Albert football. I mean, I don't know what you guys are seeing out there, but this is not the team that I grew up watching. These boys are not headed for state. They're headed for the bench.
Scott Wright, we're here to talk about the Class 5A state championship game, Tulsa's East Central versus Carl Albert, 7:30 p.m. Saturday at Boone Pickens Stadium in Stillwater. We expected one of these teams to be there. The other one, after 6 games, had been completely written off.
Hi everybody, Steve Marshall alongside my partner Rod Thompson. Excited to be here for this great matchup between 2 teams. Well, I get the feeling that everybody expected one of these teams to be here, but maybe not so much the other.
Yeah, you look at East Central, they haven't lost a game on the field. And then you look at Carl Albert, they started the season, Steve, 1-5.
my name's Gary Rose, and I was the head football coach in 2012. And
Coach Mike Corley, been here at Carl Albert for 20 years.
My name is Robert Lilofie.
Taylor goes in motion to the right. Cherry looks to throw. Pressured. He goes down. Big sack for the Carl Albert Titans. Getting over there, big number 68, Robert Lilofie.
From Midwest City, Oklahoma. And I was a Viper for Carl Albert.
My name is Blair Ring, raised in Midwest City, Oklahoma. Went to Carl Albert.
I'm Bo Bradshaw. I was a linebacker on the 2012 state championship team.
11, Cherry takes the snap. Looking downfield, it's hit from behind, and finally goes down. A sack on the play. Number 15, Bo Bradshaw is there. A loss of 4 on the play.
You know, he's definitely a part of the backbone of the team, Coach Corley was, because all of the coaches, and I played at OSU and then OBU, and just seeing how much of a unit these coaches were. They all really pushed for the same thing. They were on the same page. They wanted us to be good men. That was their number one priority, and then it was football.
They were changing every aspect of our football game that we have ever known for our entire life. And we just had to fully trust those coaches because we were nothing. You know what I mean? We had scrimmaged, we had played our games, we had played each other. Like, there was nothing we could do to help ourselves. We had to fully trust those coaches. So it was a dynamic I've never seen in my entire life as to what they were able to do with it. It was preposterous. No one could picture us in the state championship game. Nobody.
But I think something about this program that has been here ever since I've been here, and Coach Rose instilled that, Coach Rollins, Coach Goff, all those guys that came before us and were here with us all that time, you know, character and doing the right thing has been a huge part of that. If you don't have that, then I don't care how talented you are, you're going to stumble, you're going to fall. So very, very important, and that's not only preached, but that's lived.
just one of those special relationships that you have, and we spend hours and hours together in an office and on a field. And of course, when 12 happened, hardship really shows what you're made of. And so I think I knew what Mike was made of, but when that happened, then I knew what he's made of. The kind of courage and persistence and faith and all the things that describe a great human being. That's Mike Corley.
Different perspective with this one. Yes, sir. Mike Corley is, once again, I said on TV the other day, he's a stud. And he's one of the, if he's not the major reason, he's one of the major reasons for this season, this win, this victory. Our kids have done an unbelievable job of not giving up when we were 1-5, and coaches have done a marvelous job again. This has got to be the most special group of kids, and we've had a bunch of special ones. Yeah. I mean, and we're so blessed, but nothing like this has ever happened in our history.
You hear whenever you're growing up in Carl Albert that he's this big old macho man, and you're told that he has cancer your senior year in high school. it's very hard to process that at first. Because you think initially that you're not going to get that chance. You're not going to get the macho Corley that was on the field yelling at you. We don't get that.
Around Easter time, I noticed, this nut lumps on my neck, and was concerned about it. Went in and just to the local doctor, and went through the channels there to eventually a diagnosis from OU Medical. That we had neck cancer, and found that out that spring. And so immediately, went into the treatment phase, and it was 3 rounds of chemo, and I believe it was 25, 27 rounds of radiation.
It seemed like at that point the cancer was still there in his neck, in that tumor. And he said, we'll have to go to the cancer board, the team. And so they go to the team. And so I think it may have been Thursday pregame of that week. We played Del City Friday night. And he gets word that he's cancer free Thursday before Del City game. And so there's other stuff that that's part of that story, but I just remember that just clear as day.
Like how motivating that was to like, hey, this is just football. Like if that guy can deal with that and like live his life and be out here coaching us and doing his job, then like we can get to this practice, right? I mean, like it's a really simple like train of thought there, but I mean, the ability to like see it and picture it is what I think was so good for us. And at the age that we were at, being as like formative years as we were, I mean, the kind of lessons that you learn from like seeing a man go through that like completely changes your life.
It's such an aspect, like that's what we were told the whole time. Hey, we're gonna fight for Coach Corley. Coach Corley is fighting, we're fighting. And that's the whole aspect of the whole team, is we're not gonna give up, because that's not what Coach Corley's doing. We're not gonna be defeated by cancer. We're not gonna be defeated by any other team out here. We're gonna keep fighting no matter what's delivered to us, and we're just gonna keep on going. And so I think that was the biggest aspect.
That year was beneficial in multiple ways, but what I liked most is the character that was built there, and that's something Coach Gary Rose always emphasized was character. It's not about anything else except for character, being honest, being hardworking, doing your part. And he tried to intertwine, football with, being a father, being a contributing, man in society. And so that year for me was very formative in that way, where I realized this is all just a game.
This drive, and it's the drive I continue with every, lifelong aspect. Now I want to be a teacher and coach, because Coach Corley and because Coach Rose, they were able to put this initiative in my head that, hey, no matter what's in front of you, that's a block. Blocks can always be overcome.
But 2012 has to be the most amazing season I've ever experienced as a player or coach. I mean, I did 52 years playing and coaching, and there's nothing like what happened that year. But I think that typifies, at least at times, what can happen when the right ingredients, the right people, the right attitudes, the right work ethic come together, and even the circumstances when you throw in pretty much a miraculous journey with Coach Corley and his cancer, and all that played into that. That's it's complicated, but it's beautifully complicated. And that year, I mean, my wife has a little shrine at the house, and the main feature of that room is 2 pictures of that team. And one of them is Coach Corley with the seniors. It says "Fight the Fight."